You see, guys, the return of Wes Ramsey to our screens might initially look like a simple case of trauma-induced hallucinations, a mere side effect of Anna's harrowing time at that medical facility in France. But if you analyze the psychological motive behind these visions, it looks like we are facing a much darker, far more dangerous stalemate. We are not just watching a beloved character struggle with her mental health, we are witnessing a calculated move by the writers to turn Peter August into a posthumous puppet master. The ghost of Peter is not just showing up in the corner of a room to frighten his aunt. He is whispering to her, planting twisted memories, and issuing commands disguised as her own organic thoughts. This implies that Anna is slowly being transformed into a weapon, a vessel for Peter to finish the sinister work he could not complete while he was alive. Let us break down the potential targets in this terrifying psychological warfare, starting with Maxie. If you ask me, Maxie is in the most immediate danger. Peter knows, even from beyond the grave, that Maxie will never, ever forgive him for the pain and terror he inflicted upon her and their child. Therefore, it is highly likely that Peter's hallucination will begin to feed Anna a steady stream of paranoia regarding Maxie. Could it be that Peter will convince Anna that Maxie is harboring a dangerous secret? We might see Anna inexplicably turning against the young woman she has always loved and protected, driven by a manufactured belief that Maxie poses a threat to Port Charles. Anna will not understand why she suddenly suspects Maxie of nefarious deeds, but the ghost in her mind will meticulously justify every paranoid thought until Anna takes drastic action to neutralize the perceived threat. Then we have to consider the unforeseen fallout for Felicia Scorpio. Felicia has always been Anna's fiercely loyal protector, the one person who can look at Anna and immediately know when something is terribly wrong. She already proved her sharp instincts by flying to France and eventually realizing Anna was right about the fake Nathan. Because Felicia is so perceptive, Peter's ghostly presence will undoubtedly recognize her as the primary obstacle to his control over Anna. If Peter wants to maintain his grip on Anna's fractured psyche, Felicia must be eliminated from the board. I suspect Peter will manipulate Anna into viewing Felicia not as a savior, but as a traitor. The shattered trust between these two lifelong friends could lead to a devastating confrontation, orchestrated entirely by a phantom voice that demands Felicia be pushed away, or worse, permanently silenced. And what about Jason Morgan? We all know Jason is making his highly anticipated return to the screen, stepping right back into the chaotic web of Port Charles. Peter August has never forgotten his bitter rivalries, and he always viewed Jason as a massive roadblock to his grand designs. Through the manipulation of Anna Devane, Peter has the perfect opportunity to strike at his old enemy. It looks like Anna, utilizing all her exceptional WSB training and strategic brilliance, could be guided by Peter to set a lethal trap for Jason. Imagine the tragedy of Anna Devane, a woman who has historically fought on the side of justice, using her formidable skills to misdirect, frame, or physically endanger Jason Morgan. She would believe she is executing a necessary tactical maneuver for the greater good, completely blind to the ulterior motive of the hallucination pulling her strings. The danger does not stop there, guys. We must also look at Carly Spencer. Carly is fiercely protective of her family, and her instincts are currently on high alert following the kidnapping of Jocelyn and the chaos at Windermere. If Carly catches even a glimpse of Anna acting erratically or threatening her loved ones, she will not hesitate to retaliate. Peter's ghost would anticipate this. He knows Carly is a formidable force who acts first and asks questions later. Therefore, Peter could easily manipulate Anna into seeing Carly as a wild, uncontrollable threat that must be neutralized before she can uncover the truth about Anna's mental state. This could spark a brutal, uncharacteristic war between Anna and Carly, two powerful women tearing each other apart all because a dead man is whispering lies into Anna's ear. Now, let us analyze the incredibly complex dynamic with Valentine Cassadine. Valentine and Anna have just reunited, their romance seemingly rekindled after he secured his freedom thanks to Jocelyn's deal with the WSB head Z. But Valentine is a man built on secrets. Peter August knows exactly where the bodies are buried when it comes to Valentine's past. Instead of ordering Anna to kill Valentine, it looks like Peter might employ a much more insidious strategy. Could it be that Peter will use Anna to emotionally blackmail Valentine? By feeding Anna specific, highly classified secrets that Valentine has desperately tried to keep hidden, Peter could force Valentine into a corner. Valentine would suddenly find himself being extorted by the woman he loves, completely unaware that she is acting on the orders of a hallucination. This would turn Valentine into a reluctant pawn in Peter's overarching master plan, destroying their newly repaired relationship from the inside out. Finally, we cannot ignore the looming threat of Liesel Obrecht. Liesel has a long, bloody history with Peter, and she would never stop hunting him if she thought there was even a fraction of a chance he was still a threat. Peter's ghost knows this all too well. To protect his control over Anna, Peter might start weaving a complex web of lies, convincing Anna that Liesel is the true mastermind behind all the recent tragedies in Port Charles. He could twist Anna's memories, making her believe that Liesel is plotting a catastrophic attack. If Anna truly buys into this delusion, a confrontation between her and Liesel is inevitable. This would not just be a simple argument, it would be a high-stakes, potentially lethal clash between two brilliant, ruthless women, serving as the ultimate climax to Peter's posthumous revenge. This brings us to a fascinating crossroads in the narrative. Based on this intricate web of psychological manipulation, we can divide the potential outcomes into two distinct, highly plausible paths. We must look at how this psychological warfare will ultimately manifest in the physical world of Port Charles. In Scenario A, it looks like Anna Devane will fully succumb to the psychological programming, becoming the ultimate sleeper agent for Peter August. In this version of events, Anna operates in plain sight, using her badge, her reputation, and the absolute trust of her peers to systematically dismantle the lives of Maxie, Felicia, Jason, Carly, Valentine, and Liesel. She will execute these calculated moves with chilling precision, genuinely believing she is saving Port Charles from hidden evils. The tragedy here is the complete erosion of Anna's legacy. By the time anyone figures out that she is acting under the influence of Peter's hallucinations, the damage will be irreversible. The unforeseen fallout would leave the town in ruins, and Anna would eventually wake up from this waking nightmare, only to realize her own hands are covered in the blood of the people she loves most. On the other hand, we have Scenario B. Could it be that the intense psychological strain of fighting Peter's commands will ultimately shatter Anna's mind completely before she can execute his final orders? In this scenario, the conflicting directives between her inherent goodness and Peter's evil whispers cause a massive mental breakdown. Instead of becoming a silent assassin, Anna becomes erratic, unpredictable, and highly dangerous to everyone around her, including herself. This implies that her loved ones, particularly Felicia, Valentine, and perhaps even Jason, will have to band together to take her down. They would be forced into a heartbreaking standoff, having to treat the legendary Anna Devane as a hostile threat. It would be a race against time to capture her and commit her to a secure facility before Peter's ghost forces her to pull a trigger she can never unpull. Let us pause and really think about the emotional weight of what the writers are attempting here. For those of you who have followed Anna Devane's journey for decades, you know she has always been the smartest person in the room. She is a master spy, a woman who has outsmarted the most dangerous criminals on the globe. To see her reduced to a puppet for Wes Ramsey's character is a deeply unsettling psychological horror story. The writers are playing a very dangerous game with her character history. Every time Peter appears in her peripheral vision, every time he whispers a twisted justification into her ear, we are watching the systematic destruction of a hero. The use of a hallucination as an active antagonist is a brilliant, albeit cruel, narrative device. It means the villain cannot be shot, cannot be arrested, and cannot be reasoned with. Peter is safely locked away inside the one place nobody can reach him, Anna's own mind. The psychological motive here is pure, unadulterated vengeance. Peter August died knowing he was despised by nearly everyone in Port Charles. His hallucination is the manifestation of his lingering malice, a dark stain on the fabric of the town that refuses to be washed away. When he targets Maxie, it is about punishing her for surviving him. When he targets Felicia, it is about isolating Anna so the manipulation can take deeper root. When he targets Jason and Carly, it is about settling old scores from beyond the grave. And when he targets Valentine and Liesel, it is about asserting dominance over the very people who thought they had finally outsmarted him. This is not just a ghost story, it is a masterclass in psychological warfare, with Anna Devane serving as the tragic, unwitting battlefield. So, where does this leave us, guys? If you ask me, the future for Anna Devane looks incredibly bleak. The writers have painted her into a corner where there are no easy escapes. Whether she falls completely under Peter's spell and destroys her relationships, or she breaks under the pressure and forces her friends to lock her away, the Anna we know and love is in grave jeopardy. I highly doubt we will see a neat, tidy resolution to this storyline anytime soon. The ghost in her mind is too powerful, and the seeds of doubt have already been planted too deeply. We can only sit back and watch with a healthy dose of skepticism as this psychological thriller unfolds, wondering just how much collateral damage Peter August will inflict before he is finally, truly gone.